We call it wheelberry.
Can we eat it?
Yes, of course.
Hey guys, so I just arrived in Costa Rica last night, so I kind of wanted to explain what the process is like for anybody who is trying to go to Costa Rica right now. So first of all, on August 1st, you no longer need travel insurance in order to enter the country if you've been vaccinated. If you haven't been vaccinated, you do need to acquire traveler's insurance, which is only a couple $100s. So in my case, I got some basic insurance, but if I was not vaccinated, I would need to get insurance that covers $50,000 in medical expenses and $2,000 in hotel stays if I had to quarantine. But I have been vaccinated, so I don't need traveler's insurance. But when I entered into the country, the flight was on time, but when I first got there, they actually flagged me and I had to go talk to customs and they had to verify my vaccine card, which is just the white card that I was given when I originally got vaccinated. So that was it. They checked the card, everything was good, and then I arrived late last night to my hostel. I ordered a shuttle, so I arranged that with my hostel beforehand, but you can take Uber for just maybe $5 to $8. I arranged a shuttle for $25. So that shuttle took me directly to my hostel. Then when I arrived at the hostel, there was actually quite a few people. And one of my biggest fears about traveling right now was that there was going to be nobody in the hostels. When I travel alone, I really rely on the hostels for people so I can find friends that I can go later travel with. And right when I got there, there was actually quite a few people in the lobby, so I talked to them, and that was like restored my faith in backpacking travel, that it is possible to do right now as long as you follow the steps that are in place. Okay, so in Costa Rica, so this is my first day, and when I first got to San Jose, I took a walking tour that my hostel told me about at 9 o'clock. So this morning, me and 3 other people that I met the night before at the hostel went and did the walking tour. What I've noticed is that it's really nice in the morning generally, and then it rains in the afternoon. So right now it's raining, and it has been raining since maybe 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So when I was in the United States, before I flew out, the first flight that I took, they had to check my documents. And so they did that, and after they checked that I had a vaccine card, that I had a flight out of Costa Rica, they gave me a red stamp on my boarding pass that said "Doc's okay." So you need that red stamp on your boarding pass in order to fly, and they're going to check that every step of the way. So the U.S. is trying to make sure that you have all your documentation ready, so that when you get to Costa Rica, you don't get denied. And so it would be pretty difficult to not have your documentation and get out of the U.S. They're pretty careful about making sure that you have either your travel insurance or your vaccine card before they even let you leave the U.S. So in order to go to Costa Rica, you need to fill out a health pass. So you give the information of where you're staying, you give your travel insurance information. But again, like I said, if as of August 1st, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need travel insurance. But you fill all that information out in the health pass form for Costa Rica, and they give you a QR code. So you take this QR code and you scan it when you are about to enter the flight, when you get to Costa Rica, when you talk to their customs. So when I compare it to traveling before the pandemic, there's a few more things that you need to make sure of before you leave. There's a little more preparation than usual, but not that much more preparation. Like when I went to Vietnam, I needed a whole visa and I needed to apply for it and pay money for it before I go, and you need to have that all squared away and have your documentations ready. So it's not even as complicated as some other countries have been before the pandemic, but you do need to make sure you're either vaccinated or you just have travel insurance. which you can get a month or two or a month of travel insurance for $150 easily. And there's several options you can go for with that. It can be one from your home country, or it could be a travel insurance from Costa Rica or whatever destination you're going to. So my first impressions of coming to Costa Rica and staying at a hostel is that, life here is pretty normal. You don't have to wear a mask when you're outside in public, and then when you're in the store, you wear the mask. If you're in the restaurant, you wear the mask until you're seated. And so from what I've seen, it's similar to the United States, and it's seemingly pretty lax, but I would say very comparable to the US right now. So if you have your health pass and your insurance, and you give that information before you enter the country, you get that QR code. It should be really straightforward for entering the country. So I hope to go. I'm leaving San Jose in the next day or two, and I already have a couple ideas now of where I want to go. Luckily, the hostel has given me plenty of information to help me decide where I should go next from here, and I wanted to stay very open. Another thing I'll mention too is that you need to have your destination, your ticket out. You need to have that booked, and you have to prove that you have a ticket out. But they didn't really check it in any way. So while they told me I need to have a ticket out of Costa Rica, there was nothing that they did to check it to make sure. Anyways, this is my first impressions of traveling Costa Rica. If you're traveling in the month of August, that's sort of the basics of what you need to know, what it's like to enter into the country. I'll be making a lot more vlogs this week as I travel through Costa Rica. So if you found any of this information helpful, like and subscribe, and there'll be more to come. All right, guys. Peace.